Call to order the Troy City Council special meeting for September 12th, 2016. We could have the roll call, Ms. Dixon.
Mayor Slater?
Here.
Councilmember Abraham? Here. Councilmember Baker?
Here.
Councilmember Henderson?
Here.
Councilmember Hoderick? Here. Mayor Pro Tem Pennington?
Here.
All present. We have one discussion item this evening, that is to review the applications for city council appointment. And I will turn this meeting over to City Manager Kishnick, who will talk about the process that we will use and explain to the audience, along with City Clerk Dixon, the process this evening. So, good evening, Brian.
Good evening. We put together this process as a result of other processes that the city council has used, starting with hiring the city manager about 4 years ago, and then filling other council vacancies. And what that is with the list of applicants, we asked the council to bring 5 names. And in this case, we will use numbers because many have requested confidentiality, and to honor that confidentiality, we will ask for 5 numbers from each council member. I'll write them on the board, put checks, very, very empirical, technical way to do business, but very scientific. So we'll put the number there and we'll put the checks, and then we will see how the numbers shake out. And the idea is to bring it to 5, but this council has the ability to do less or more, whatever the pleasure of the council is. At that time, I'll let Clerk Dixon talk about then what happens after that.
Yeah, so basically, we'll end up with a list of choices on the board. The city manager will choose, or will circle the 5. If there's a tie for 5th place, then council could have another round and see what the top 6 or whatever choices are, to try to narrow it down again. And if still unable to narrow it down, the council could always opt to have more than 5 candidates called for an interview. And then I'll contact those candidates and tell them that they are finalists and that they're invited for an interview on the 19th.
Okay, any questions from council before we start the process? We are going to do it just as if we were doing roll call, or what would be the next call order from the clerk, if that's okay with everyone. She will do it as if we were going to take the next vote. So when Ms. Dixon calls out one of our names, we will give 5 numbers to Brian to write on the board. Okay?
Slowly.
That's okay, I gotta find all the people on here.
Well, that's great.
Pressures on.
Did you need a minute?
If she's first, maybe that's a good idea. Oh, it's Mayor's first.
I think Mayor's first on the first call. Just give me a heads up, and then when you think you're ready. You ready?
Why can't I find this person?
You can't enter a write-in candidate.
Was not planning on it. There we go. All right.
Okay. Ms. Dixon.
Okay, Mayor Slater?
17, 20, 21, 25, 31.
Councilmember Abraham?
8, 10, 18.
Hold on.
Oh, I'm sorry.
8, 10, 18.
18, 20, and 21.
Councilmember Baker?
16, 21, 25, 31, and 35.
Councilmember Henderson?
16, 21, 25, 31, and 35.
Councilmember Hoderick?
6, 10, 18, 20, and 21.
Mayor Pro Tem Pennington?
17,
18, 25, 29, 31.
Is that everybody?
That's everybody.
So 6 has 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 4, 2. So 5, 4, 4, 2 threes. So number 18, 20, 21, 25, and 31.
All right. Is that what everybody else had?
Is that correct?
Looks like your ciphering's good.
So we have 5, correct?
Yes.
That should do it.
I didn't expect it to be that easy.
No, the process has to work. It's a weird thing that we came up with 4 years ago, but it's,
Better than rock, paper,
it is,
scissors.
Now, the city clerk will call each of those 5 and make sure that they still want to continue with the process. And at that time, they will be published and be available to be interviewed on Monday. What are we going to do if 1 or 2 of them decline? Are we going to just say we're going to continue with the remaining, or are we going to drop back? That's the only question I have, because we have a bunch of 2s.
Yeah. Do you need to have, a first runner-up? You know, in
We don't
case
have to have
someone
five.
declines?
Well, right now, we just have 5 candidates.
I'm thinking if they're putting their name in the hat, they're not gonna decline.
Well, I agree, but
Were any of these people who wanted to remain anonymous? If that's just a thought. If they publicly put it out there, they probably are more apt to do it.
uh,
Yes, there is at least, I know, there's at least one.
I can answer,
I think there's at least one.
there's at least one. There's at least one.
Well, if he drops out, if him or her drops out, then we have 4.
Is that the way we want to do it?
I'm comfortable
Is
with
that comfortable with, everybody comfortable with that? Okay. Any questions, comments?
I'd just like to say this was really hard.
Yeah.
There,
Yeah.
I spent my entire weekend poring over it, thinking about it. My list changed. I did not take this lightly. I know none of us did. And it was really hard. It took me a lot of time, and there were a lot of really amazing candidates, which was great to see.
Yeah, I agree. The problem that I had was that they were very, very good candidates, but I didn't know them because they haven't been on a committee or they haven't been on something that I've had any interaction with. So I would really encourage people to get involved, whether they're on a committee or somehow, so that if this, when this happens, and it seems to be happening more often than it has in the past, it's just impossible to really get a good flavor of who some people are just through a small resume that they put. That's where I struggled. There were unbelievable candidates, in my opinion. You know, to whittle them down, I mostly used my own personal interaction that I had with them in one fashion or another. So it was very difficult, very difficult. We had notes all over the place. Any other comments, questions? I don't see that there's,
Questions, you need them to do
yeah,
the
yeah, I was just going to see if anybody was here for public comment, but what we do need for Monday is one question from each council member to be submitted to the city clerk, hopefully by
I would say Friday morning.
Friday morning,
Say
if
like
we
10
could.
o'clock Friday morning.
Just one question.
Is
As
that
opposed
okay?
to Thursday at noon?
Well, it's,
It's not included in the agenda packet, however, so.
How about Thursday by noon? That seems more than reasonable for one question to be submitted, because City Clerk Dixon has to, if there are duplicates, then she's going to have to ask for an additional question from those members. So I think Thursday by noon is reasonable.
Should we submit two and just do the top one, or no?
No,
Just one.
just one question.
then I did find this one.
And if council is okay, the last couple of times, I just asked them to come up and introduce themselves briefly and tell us a little bit about them, not being a question, but just so we don't have to use that as a question. So if we're comfortable with that,
Yeah.
we'll just ask them to introduce themselves and tell us about themselves a little bit, and then we'll go with the questions. And we will ask the same question to every candidate. So, if we could get those to Aileen by noon on Thursday, that would be great. Councilwoman Abraham.
When one candidate is being interviewed, or let's say the first candidate's being interviewed, are the other four in council chambers, or are they elsewhere?
They're in here,
Perfect.
sequestered.
Well, that's generally the way that it goes. However, if somebody is insistent, under the Open Meetings Act, they could be in there, but that would be very telling if they decided to push that.
Yeah, we're gonna probably dissuade, talk about that if we can.
Not advisable.
Yes.
Any other comments? Any other comments, questions? I don't see that anyone is here to utilize public comment. So if we don't have any other questions or comments, thank you for coming this evening. We are adjourned.